Welcome to the clinical cookout. Cookout.
This week for the clinical cookout, we'll be talking about racial trauma. And to be totally honest, I had to start this video over several times because I wasn't sure what I was going to say or what I was going to tell you that could help you feel any better. So you're probably wondering, well, what is racial trauma? And I can at least explain that to you. Well, racial trauma basically is experiencing something, a stress-related event or situation that is linked to racism, discrimination, bias, things of that nature, that causes some type of detriment to your emotional and physical health. And you can experience racially based trauma through a lot of avenues. Typically it's probably mostly through social media that we see it, or any type of exposure to racial acts or racial violence. And for instance, there have been two, at least over the weekend. So there was one lady who got hit with a brick due to rejecting the advances of a man, and there was another lady here in Columbus who got shot and killed by the police. And if you want to go and research those two events or situations that happened, then you are more than welcome. However, if you feel at this moment that that is not emotionally safe for you, then don't push yourself to do it. Now, I know that there's been a long history of racism, discrimination in this country. And I think we can particularly talk about how racial trauma starts, at least in our community, and things that has happened that I think is important to relate to you. And because of these events happening, I wanted to share with you a book that I've read regarding the emotional lives of Black women. And it's called Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, The Emotional Lives of Black Women by Dr. Ziegler. And in here, she speaks about how basically Black girls' childhood and how that's basically taken from them. And she said that adults viewed Black girls in the age range of 5 to 14 as less innocent and more adult-like than their white peers. Also, she said that Black girls are perceived to need less nurturing and protection, and to know more about adult topics, including sex, and to be more independent. There was a follow-up study that was done listening to Black women and girls' lived experiences of adultification bias, found that negative stereotypes of Black women, such as being angry and aggressive or hypersexualized, are placed onto Black girls, and in turn erase the distinction between childhood and adulthood. And so the reason why I thought this was important to bring up is because we often, as Black women, don't get the opportunity to be innocent. We don't get the opportunity to have someone protect us and nurture us. And I don't know how that can change. I don't know what we need to do. I wish I had solutions for you. I wish I could talk about how this has been an ongoing problem in our community, and not only in our community, but just the outside world in general. And what we can do to change this narrative when it comes to Black women and Black girls needing protection. I'm hoping that you can find some of the things that we talk about in our episode this week about racial trauma enlightening, or, have some sort of relatability when it comes to the stories that we share, because we're in this with y'all as well. We're trying to figure it out as well. And we will continue to do our part to ensure that Black children, Black men, and Black women get the respect, the nurturing, and the protection that they deserve. So we will see you this week. Thank you for being here, and peace.